Okay, so on this blue sheet, do you agree with these purple polynomials right here?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna give you a couple more minutes. Sorry, I thought we were done. Okay, so when we look at these first five, what are some things that you notice? Kari.
When you add, you have to.
Okay, so you're saying 3 plus 4 is 7. And then the 3 times 4 is 12. Do you notice that like Kari notices it? Do you notice that 1 plus 5 is 6 and 4 plus 6 is 10?
Yes.
Now, over here, we have the same thing, except all of these are minus, but these are still positive. Talk to me about why that's happening. Okay, so a negative times a negative is a positive. Kari, what else? Okay, so we're just still viewing this as -3 plus -4 is the -7. And the -2 plus the -3 is the -5, right? Okay, so what happens when we have one that's negative, one that's positive? Okay, so here we get x squared plus x minus 12. Here we get x squared minus x minus 6. Here we get x squared plus 4x minus 5. And here you should have gotten x squared minus 2x minus 24. Thank you. Thank you, Kinley. Okay, so what are some things you notice here? What are some things you notice here?
It's all numbers. They're all numbers and X's.
Ellery.
It goes like and then plus, it's minus, plus and minus, and then if it's plus and then minus, then they're both minus.
So I think that that's a coincidence, but that is a clever coincidence that you did find. Okay. So up here, weren't you telling me that 3 plus 4 is 7 and 2 plus 3 is 5, right? So tell me this, what is -3 plus 4? -1. What is 2 plus -3?
Negative brother. What?
-1 plus 5. 4 plus -6. Okay, now why are all of these negative?
Because negative number is bigger than the positive.
We have one negative, one positive that we're multiplying. So that's going to be a negative number. Okay. So if we have x squared plus 7x plus 10, what would those two parentheses be? We're going to call them factors. X plus 5 and x plus 2. Did anybody else write that down?
Yep. Yeah, I did.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I did.
Yeah? Okay, what about for the second one?
X minus 5 and X minus 3.
That is true. That is true. Okay, what about the last one? Brooks?
X minus 5 times X plus 2.
I'm so proud of you as a class. You guys, this is what we're going to work on for the next couple of days. Could you please get out your student journal? And that's not it. Turn to page 226. For the next several school days, we are going to do what's called factoring. And basically, it is the reverse of foiling. Okay, now we're going to get a trinomial. And we are going to have to, don't ever say this, unfoil it. 226.
What was that face?
Are you making fun of my face?
No.
You literally just said, what was that face?
You made like a face. I gotta know what that was. Are you really just so? All right.
Okay, so you're gonna get a trinomial, and we are gonna break it up into the factors. X plus something, X plus something, X minus who knows, okay? Now, when we are talking about our trinomial, this term right here is our first term. This term right here is our last term. But whatever this middle term right here is, it's our outside plus our inside product that we add together, okay? Right? Every time you foiled, you had two X terms you had to combine together. That was your outside product, that was your inside product.
If you like put your first and last back in your equation, don't have to solve for the O and an I since they're in the both spots. So I know it's gonna be x squared, so x and x, and I don't have to do anything with 6x.
So basically, if you start here and this is your answer, you better make sure that first, outside, inside, last multiplies back to be this answer right here. You should know if you have the right answer because you can FOIL it out and make sure it's the same. Okay. Now, something that you noticed, okay, if we have this constant term, if it's positive, that means both of these signs are going to be the same. Okay? Because a negative times a negative is a positive times a positive is a positive. How do we know if they should be both positive or both negative? Okay, ignore this, ignore this. How do we know that we need two pluses or two minuses? What were you gonna say? Noah? Okay, how do we know if we need x plus 1, x plus 5, or x minus 1, x minus 5? How do we know to use minuses or pluses? Henry?
I'm looking at the positives, negatives, and
Okay, if that middle term is positive or negative, that's telling us what we need. Okay, so I would like you to write this down. Are you ready? I would like you to write down x squared plus 9x plus 18. Okay, some of you are already there, but just like, let's talk this through, and this is what should be going through your head. Okay, since this is a positive, we know that both signs are going to be the same. What can you not see? What can you not see? Okay, so we know both signs are going to be the same. What is this telling us? Yeah, so both are positive. Okay. When we go to factor this out, this is what we need to ask ourselves. You ready? we need to ask ourselves what multiplies to 18 and adds to 9. We want two numbers that multiply to 18 and add to be that middle number right there. Whisper it to your elbow partner. Okay. What is 6 times 3? What is 6 plus 3? Okay. So we have x plus 3, x plus 6. Well, okay. There's our answer. Yes.
Do you have to put in those right?
No, if you write x plus 6 times x plus 3, that means the same thing because multiplication is a commutative operation. It could be in either order. Okay. Now, how do we know if we're right? We can multiply this out. X times x is x squared. X times positive 6. X times 3 times x. And 3 times 6. Is that the same thing? Yeah, we did it right. Good job. Go us. Okay. Write this one down. X squared minus 9x plus 20. I'm not going to lie. This is one of my favorite algebra things, factoring. Like a big puzzle. And it's very suspicious that you are turning around and looking at me. But in your case, it was more like, is she watching me? Okay, so if this is a positive number, what does it tell us? Both of our numbers inside of our factors are going to be the same. Okay. Since this is a negative, we know that they're both going to be what? They're both going to be negative. Okay. So we need to ask ourselves what multiplies to 20 and adds to negative 9. We need two numbers that multiply to 20 and add to negative 9. Maddie, what do you think?
Negative 5 and negative 4.
What's negative 5 times negative 4? What is negative 5 plus negative 4?
Negative 9.
Okay, so we have x minus 5, x minus 4. And we can check our answer by filling that out and make sure we get back to where we started. Leave Noah alone. Okay, now let's talk about the situation where that constant is negative. Okay, we are still talking about this being our first product, this being our last product, and this middle term being the sum of the outside and inside. Okay, but what we're going to have to be careful with here is that our last product is negative. What's the only way to take two numbers and get a negative answer? One's positive, one's negative. Okay, I just ran into your chair. That was, you're fine. Okay, so let's talk about x squared, write this down, plus 5x minus 14. Okay. Since the constant is negative, that tells us that we have one number that's positive and one that's negative. Okay. What is this gonna tell us? Is it gonna tell us anything?
What?
Nanny?
The large number's gonna be positive.
Of the two numbers that multiply to negative 14, okay, the bigger absolute value needs to be the positive, okay? All right, so we want to know what multiplies to negative 14 and adds to a positive 5. You have an idea, Brooks? What's your idea?
Positive 7 and negative 2.
What is 7 times negative 2? What is 7 plus negative 2?
5.
Okay, so you're saying we need to have x plus 7 and x minus 2? Eh? Okay, one more together. X squared plus 5x minus 14. Write it down. Ah, shoot. That's an airplane flying over.
Pretty close airplane.
Probably going to office. What?
Just sensitive.
Because
No.
it's not like super fast. It's trying to land. Notice how we don't hear it anymore.
I think the wind just stopped.
Huh? It's- Okay, so you don't know what off it is? It's the Air Force Base. Okay, the fact that 12 is negative tells us that we have one positive and one negative for our factors. Okay. We need to figure out what multiplies to negative 12 but adds to negative 1. DJ, you got an idea? Is negative 4 times 3 negative 12? Is negative 4 plus 3 negative 1? Awesome. All right, let's see what you can do. What I would like you to do on the next page. Are you ready?
Yep. Sure.
Okay, you are going to do 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9.
One and 7.
What multiplies to equal the constant and adds to equal the middle number? What multiplies to 7 but adds to 1 times what is 7? So 1 and 7.
Hey, this is partner work.
Yeah, it can be.
All right. Oh, no. No, you're done. No, you're done. Connor's a smart individual. What's your grade? I was, oh, what? What did I do? What did I do? What's your grade? 83.5. Yeah, exactly. That's an A. It's like a 96.8.
I got it.
I'm dangling. What's your grade? You understand this crazy division? Yeah, I'll make it. Engineers for that. What? Oh. Not that hard.
I'm gonna give you 1 more minute.
Oh, dang. Number 3's got me tripped up over here.
82 more minutes. Number 2. What
Three.
multiplies to 64?
Number
What?
3. 3's got me tripped up.
What's
Is it 9? Oh, it's 92.
Mhm.
I'm back. I'm back in the flow. So back. Oh, we're more than. You know, I don't know how I feel about your language. They can find me on this. No, I'm saying you're so bad. I didn't make any joke about your boy. Well, I made plenty of jokes about you. It's not too
Multiplies to negative. So when I think of 54, I think it's 9.
Would be -9 and positive
Yeah,
6.
my bad, Connor.
No, every time it would be -6.
I'm not making fun of Noah.
Yeah.
What was that?
Thank you.
Am I looking here?
All right. Haley, what do you have for number 1? Okay, 1 times 7 is 7. 1 plus 7 is 8. That looks good. Reese, what about for number 2? A plus 8 times A plus 8. 8 times 8 is 64. 8 plus 8 is 16. You could, if you are really fancy, write this one like this. Right?
Will that be needed?
Not necessary, but. Okay, Jacob, what do you have for number 3? 2 numbers that multiply to 18 and add to 11. So 18 is even. 9 and 2. There we go. All right. Now down here we have. Oh, this one we have a negative constant. Okay. Drew, what do you have for number 7? B minus 6 and B plus 9. Positive 9 and negative 6. Multiply to negative 54 and add to positive 3. I said 7, 8, 9.
Oh, I did.
Well. Okay, DJ, what do you have for number 8? Y plus 1 and Y minus 2. And then number 9. Noah Cho, what do you have?
U minus 6 and U plus
You're close. So,
3, but I guess not.
so what if we change the negative and positive? Plus 6 and minus 3. Would that be better?
I think so.
I think so too. Okay. Just be careful with which one needs to be the positive, which one needs to be the negative. Okay. Go ahead and turn the page. What were the instructions on this page? What we just did, it asked you to factor the polynomial. And when I ask you to factor the polynomial, you're giving me the parentheses with the stuff inside, okay? Now, when I ask you to solve the equation, number one, it's an equation. Number two, if I'm asking you to solve, I'm asking you for x equals, in this case, g equals, blah, 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 blah. So what can we do with this left side over here? Can we factor this?
Correct.
Okay, what multiplies to positive 40 and adds to negative 13? Minus 5 minus 8. Hey, this now looks like a quiz question. If I have g minus 5 times g minus 8 equals 0, what does that mean? Yeah. Yep. So if we can factor and we're set equal to 0, we can use the zero product property. Isn't that great? I hear the excitement in your voice. You don't like it? No? Oh, this is the best. Okay, what about here? What multiplies to positive 6 and adds to negative 5? Huh? Minus 2, minus 3. Very good. Okay. Put the computer away.
Yeah, on the test.
Put it away. Now, my answer though is what? K equals 2, K equals 3. Okay. Now, this is going to be the last one. What do you notice about number 16? That is important. We cannot factor unless it's set equal to 0. So we have to minus the 30 over to the other side. Now we're set equal to 0, and we have a sweet trinomial that I think is going to be fairly simple to factor. I need two numbers that multiply to negative 30 and add to negative 1.
6 and 5. 6 and negative 5.
Thank you for raising your hands.
Gosh, bro.
No, it's the other way around. Yeah.
Negative 6 and positive 5.
I was trying to distract the class.
You're always very good at that.
I do what I do.
What's my answer to this question, Henry?
Where's Gary and
It's fine. It doesn't have a